them to sign. I'll get rid of the one I brought.
Well, there's one that, did you give?
I gave him the brand.
There's a good one, and then there's a bad one.
Yep, I got the good one.
Okay. You got that? Call the meeting to order. Can we all stand for the pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and justice for all. First of all, I'd like to state for the record that this is a special meeting of the town board. It is Wednesday, January 19th at about 4:34 p.m. We called this special meeting to address the situation in our town assessor's office. The one thing I wanted to address before we go any further is, and Tim tells me, our town attorney, that today that there is an extension of the ability to do virtual meetings.
Governor signed the new legislation last Friday.
Okay. So it was due to expire on January 15th, but it's been extended. So we are able to hold this meeting virtually, although it really isn't an issue because we're here in person now that I think about it. But it does affect one of our board members who is not present here in the room and is attending virtually. So Nikki, do you want to just call the roll, if you wouldn't mind?
No problem. Supervisor Rotundo.
Here.
Counselor McElhannon. Here. Counselor Light.
Here.
Counselor Christmas.
Kind of.
Okay.
Okay.
Counting one Chartrand.
No, I just
You
need the
don't need
elected.
Okay.
And we're missing one.
James Loomis is unavailable. He is out of the state, so he was not able to participate today, but we do have a quorum and we'll be able to proceed. So that said, we are here unfortunately because our town assessor, Larry Fitz, passed away last Friday, January 14th. So before we go any further, I would ask for a moment of silence to honor not only his service to this town, but the kind of person that he was and just the way he treated people. So if we could have a moment of silence. Okay. We did put one other item on the agenda. As always, Tom Chartrand comes with bills. He takes advantage of these special meetings and brings us a few bills to our invoices that we've signed. So I would make them, everybody's had a chance to look at them.
Yes.
And we do have three signatures.
signatures.
So I would make a motion to pay the bills that we just signed.
I second it.
Seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. So now to the order of business that brings us here specially, which is how we will manage our assessor's office without Larry. So there has been much back and forth discussion, negotiation, consideration of options, and polling of my board members here to reach this point, which we realized we really needed to do as soon as we could, because this is a busy season for the tax assessor between now and the end of June. So there is before the board a professional services agreement. I think the agenda says personal, so my bad. It should say professional services agreement. Should I read this or do we need to read it?
No, you don't need to read it. So I have drafted a agreement for professional services between the town of Fabius, the town of Pompey, and Fitz Appraisals Company, which is Larry's company that also provides assessment services. This contract would allow the town to hire that company to provide certain assessment services to the residents of the town of Pompey and the residents of the town of Fabius. As you all know, the town of Fabius and the town of Pompey have entered into an agreement to provide joint assessment services. This is a contract that was prepared based on the emergency that we have, which is we have appointed an assessor who has unfortunately passed away and leaves a vacancy in that office. So instead of appointing somebody to the assessor for a 6-year term, this is going to be an interim step in order for us to make sure that the residents of the town of Pompey have services available to them, have somebody to help them with their assessment type services. And it also appoints Brian Fitz, who is qualified as an assessor in the state of New York, to do the actual valuation services while the town of Pompey is going through the process of finding a more permanent solution. So that's what this contract does. I drafted it. I think the board members have all had an opportunity to review it and read it. Is that true?
Right.
Yes.
Okay. And if you have any questions for me about it, I'm available to answer those questions. The cost is going to be the exact cost that it was for the personal employee services that Larry provided the town. So it will cost no more than that. And it's a 6-month contract, which can be terminated at any point once the town figures out a more permanent solution. So that's the highlights of the agreement. If there are no questions, we could somebody can make a motion to authorize the supervisor to enter into this agreement if there's no more discussion. But again, I don't want to stunt any discussion that the board has.
Does it have to be subject to Fabius also entering into it in that motion?
Well, it is a contract that Fabius is anticipated to agree to, but yeah, I mean, we can't enter into a contract by ourselves because Fabius and us have a joint agreement.
And Fabius supervisor Velarde has been involved with this, and I've shared all of the work that we've done on our side. She's indicated that she's favorable towards this, and I know they're meeting tonight. So it would be, if unless something changes, and as long as they sign this, it would really allow us to have some real continuity in a time that could otherwise be very detrimental to a lot of people. So I believe they're going to, but of course I can't represent that other than what she's told me.
And this will also mean that we will not be making a payroll payment to Larry for
January.
January.
No, it will switch over to a monthly payment to the appraisal company through this contract. Same with Vegas, there's a change as well. So
Can I make a motion?
if everybody is good, yes, go ahead.
I make a motion that we appoint Renee as our town supervisor to go into agreement with the Fitz Appraisal Company for the interim of the rest of this agreement that we just have in front of us. And then we can- Okay.
And Ann seconded it. So you're authorizing me. to
I'm
sign.
authorizing
Okay.
you,
Okay.
supervisor authorizing
Is-
her.
Is there any further discussion, board members?
Mm-mm.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Did we hear Ann?
And
Ann?
Yep, I said aye.
Oh, yeah,
Aye.
sometimes we hear you, sometimes we don't.
Yes, aye.
Okay. Any opposed? Motion carried. I will sign this and ask Tom to deliver this down to Fabius tonight, and hopefully then we can get Brian to sign it. Or do we have to have him sign it first, or does it not matter? Okay. Okay,
And we also need to do the budget transfer so that we have the funding available for this contract when it becomes active.
so I would move that we transfer funds from the personal services line, assessor's personal services line to the contractual line. The total being $15,000, which is half of the year's budgeted amount, so that we can pay for this contract.
I second it.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. I think that's it. It's certainly not a meeting any of us wanted to have to hold, and I so appreciate everyone's willingness to make sure that they could attend, take care of this, and that we can move on. For those that are interested in knowing about funeral arrangements for Larry, they will be in this Sunday's Post Standard. There will be an obituary. My understanding is that the calling hours will not be until February 4th. But check the obituary to be sure. But that is what Brian has told me. So can't say enough good things about Larry. I think it's a real struggle for some of us more than others. Nikki, who literally sits next door to him and has been his help. For Ann, who worked with him for years and years and years. And I can just say that despite the change in administration 2 years ago, he has been an invaluable asset to the town, and he will be missed.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
that I would make a motion to adjourn.
Second it.
All those in favor?
I.
Opposed, motion carried. We are adjourned.
3 copies.
Yes.
And then one back here.